Hey, what's up? It's John Kizzy. You know who is he, aka Philly G, because they know who I be. I'm here with King Tigger,
What's up?
DJ Laton,
I'm back.
and today we have three special guests. We have Corey Wrights,
What's up?
we got my cousin CJ,
Who's poppin'?
and we got my boy Laurice.
What up? What up?
And hey, we started the podcast. We're here with episode 113, and today is our crypto episode. Now, I'll tell you, this episode, I'm going to be taking a little bit of backseat and let them cook. They come here to tell you what they know about crypto and pass it on to us so that we all know, you know what I mean?
Give us some knowledge on what's going on, right? So,
Yeah,
By no means are we experts.
yeah.
oh no, y'all
No. This is not investment advice. Disclaimer up here, quick.
Not at all. We are not financial advisors.
Listen,
But you will be financially advised.
I just
There we
took
go.
$50 and threw it in on a coin that I never even did research on,
It better not be Trump.
but I just liked.
It better not be Trump.
Oh, the meme coin? The Trump meme?
No,
No, it wasn't Trump.
Okay.
And you know what? I missed Trump by
It's good.
2 hours.
That's a good thing.
2 hours. It's not, bro. It's fine. What?
It's a good thing. It's already dumped.
Yes.
Man, this is a buying opportunity. I see it.
All right.
It reached. What did it reach? Like 20 something billion.
Yeah.
Like,
But they said, but they said it's because he owned like 80% of it.
Absolutely. The tokenomics are horrible, bro. Both that and the what's his wife's name?
Melania.
Melania. Both of them, bro. The
Hamburglar.
Melania tokenomics.
I got in
like
on the
90%.
money and I made off it. So I
There you go.
What is it?
His wife's.
Melania.
I got in on that. I made off that.
Yeah, that's dumping big time too, though, bro. That's down like 60%.
Yeah, but I got in early. I like early. Like early. Like early.
You got it.
Like I got in so early. I sold early.
Oh, you already sold it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know.
So you wasn't trying to hold it. You just
No, I wasn't the whole bag. I sell, some sell off 50.
Yeah.
It runs. You know what I mean? If it keeps going, take another 25. Let that shit go. You know what I mean? You just keep pulling from it. But if it dumps, then it's like, okay, I only lost half the money. But if it comes back up, if it got life, like, you know what I mean? Because some of them just dump, and then they trick you. They give you the little, and then they dump and they're gone. But some, you know what I mean? Like if you look at the charts, if you watch the charts, bro, it's just like it's energy, it's emotion.
Laton's eyes is glazed over. You don't know what's going on right now.
I know what he's saying.
Okay, you guys.
But this is the way.
It's almost like
most
stocks,
people
man.
are
Like,
when it comes to
yeah, it's like stocks
this
he's talking
space,
about,
right?
You guys
See,
got to hold your
this
mic
is
up a
what you
little.
gotta find out, right? What you gotta find out is that you got 3 people. We're all kind of in the same space. We all kind of treat it a little bit different. We all kind of have different views and different visions on kind of where we're trying to go and how we're trying to kind of get there. And so it's interesting, right? That's the real good thing about crypto is that you're kind of out there on your own. You kind of learn what you learn basically, but you kind of have your angle, you have your lane, and you ride that lane. And you're gonna see other people that are gonna have a totally different lane, like a totally different lane.
Yeah, but
Even sometimes in
Hold the
same
mic
coin.
up.
Even sometimes in the same coin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a totally different lane. Go ahead.
But I'm totally with you there. However, like, just because, like, I feel we're like me and you, we're all in the same lane. We're going for the same thing. But it's just that there's pieces, like, each of us do different stuff. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? But
Absolutely.
for the main thing, I feel like we're on the same page.
And,
So
and I would say that about us for sure about us. But there's some other people who are in a totally different lane. The way that they manage things, the way that they kind of deal with the market just as a whole. They're risk tolerant, very risk tolerant, but to a point where they got to be careful. You got to be very, very careful because some people are in there with all meme coins. I mean, all meme coins,
Yeah,
and some
that's crazy.
really, really risky meme altcoins. There's no
Tom's over
balance.
there looking like, what's the meme?
Yo, yeah. Wait a second. I wanted to jump in, bro. I want to jump in.
Tom's like, hey, slow
Y'all
down,
bring
slow
it
down.
bring it back. Bring it
How's your
back. Bring it
question?
back.
How's your
Bring it
question,
back.
Todd? How's your question?
Bring it back. Y'all already up to graph and all that. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back, bro. Bring it back, bro. Okay. I like honestly, yeah. I always knew about crypto, but I was like, yeah, it's crypto. I never ran to it. Like I only run the stocks because of freaking COVID. To be honest, I had the time and then look into it, right? But I just want to. Like my ignorant question is like, what is crypto and how can I use it? And like is it something that we're waiting for the future to catch up to, or it's already here and I'm just like not aware? You know what I mean?
What's the start?
If that was a dumb question, tell me,
No,
man.
No. That's a
Oh,
wonderful
okay,
question.
okay,
That's a
yeah.
wonderful question because I guess the thing about that though is that there's kind of somewhat multiple answers to that. So crypto, most people you say crypto, what do you think of? You think of Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
most people, when you hear the word crypto, is synonymous with Bitcoin. A lot of people, until you kind of get into space, that's the only crypto that like they don't even know that there's other cryptos. They just know about Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin is always going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin, digital gold, basically. And in all actuality, for me, better than gold because it's easier to store, it's easier to manage. It's right here. It's in my hands right now. And so there's your Bitcoin, which is again that's your store of value. But then there's also a whole lot of other like different cryptos that all serve different purposes. So you have what are called altcoins. Like an altcoin is basically just an alternative to Bitcoin. And so you have, say, for example, something like XRP. So there's a big thing right now, XRP. The U.S. government was fighting XRP and fighting Ripple for years. I mean, like years as to if it was a security, if it wasn't a security, if it's an asset, if it's not an asset, like the regulation that's surrounding it. And so with a lot of your what are called layer one cryptos, so like your Ripples, your like your XRP, your ADA, your what else? Solana, Ethereum, like all of these things all have very solid case uses right now. So it's not about in the future. It's about like they are literally doing things right now and doing some are doing real big things. Like XRP, I'm huge on XRP right now for the simple fact that it's in my opinion about to take over the whole world when it comes to, and it's different. It's different than say a Bitcoin because it's not necessarily like a store of value. It's not necessarily kind of like a digital gold. It's more of an everyday usable currency, and that's where we're kind of seeing things like that kind of going kind of right now. Is there's an expansion of the case, like the use cases for it, and so how it's actually going to be used now and in the future is it's kind of revolutionary, and so. Some are ready right now. Some are kind of active right now. They're actually physically doing things kind of right now. Some are a little bit more speculative in that they know where they're trying to go, but they're still trying to build up their own infrastructure right now to kind of get to that spot. Doesn't mean that they're not good coins. It just means that they're more speculative than say an Ethereum or a Solana or a Cardano, any of those types of things, right? And so I mean, it's a really great question. It's really hard to give like a really kind of simple answer for it just because there's so many different cryptos. Like there's a lot of different cryptos.
But if we go back to the question of like what is a blockchain, right? Like what is that? Like we're talking about basically what is the internet, right? And how has the internet evolved? Because the blockchain is just the evolution of the internet. It's the transfer of information and storage of information. So it's like, how do we do that in the future? Well, it's going to look a little bit different. And I think when it comes to like crypto and, a number of the coins that he was talking about, that's technology. And the technology is just going to change the way we interact day to day. It's going to change the way businesses do business. It's going to change, how we pay for things. I think that will be like the bottom line, right? So that's, and when the other piece of your question is like, where, like, is this in like its, I guess, integration now? Like, is it here or is it something that's going to take time? I think we're living in it, and I think we've been living in it. The thing that's held it back to where it's not as mainstream as it shouldn't be, and or as it should be, and there's not all this, all the positive talk about it. It's held up because there's no regulation, right? Because like CJ was saying about like speculative nature, right? It's really driven on speculation now, but that is becoming less and less of the case every day as we see what the U.S. and what they're trying to do under Donald Trump, and talking about they want to be the crypto capital of the world, which means they want to be the innovation capital. We're moving closer to that, and once it's adopted in the States, I think it's game over. Everybody else either get in now or you're going to be left behind.
Just before you go, Corey, one thing to kind of think about right now, right, is that what you have right now with some of your bigger cryptos, like your Ethereums and your Bitcoin, they actually have ETFs, and so they basically have funds that you can get exposure. If you're on the stock market, right? You're on the stock market. You can now kind of buy a fund that is kind of it's associated kind of to Bitcoin, but you don't actually own Bitcoin per se. So you're buying a stock, you're buying a fund.
Yeah.
But it's kind of increasing the exposure to Bitcoin, because one of the downsides is, and I'll be real with it, because of regulation, because there's a lot of whales out there. The reality is that you can go on a little bit of a ride at times. You can go on a little bit of a ride. So something can be up 30-40%, and it can be down 60% in a couple of days, right? And so you have to you got to be prepared for that, right? You got to be prepared for that. And some
risk and reward, right?
Absolutely. And some people right now, because you hear some of the negative stuff. Some people right now, they want to be exposed to that, but they don't necessarily want to be exposed to the roller coaster. And so you have these ETFs that kind of give you that exposure. They put that in your portfolio. You're kind of getting all the risk or all the benefits with a much less risk, just because it's a bigger fund. It's associated with other things, and it's kind of it's got other bigger, huge financial management organizations and companies that are kind of backing those things, like BlackRock and MicroStrategy and things like that. And so when you're looking at kind of, are they there right now? Absolutely. I mean, you can buy them on the stock market right now through the ETFs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right?
Before Corey goes, I want to get to the questions because
But they already answered one.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah, going to answer that question.
What?
He was going to answer that question.
So what I want to say is that we might be answering some of the questions that you already gave to us.
Yes.
Before
they were even asked.
Yeah, I know. They already been asked. So after you answer that, after you answer him, then we'll go in there to the structure how you guys sent it to us.
There you go.
Cool.
I don't even remember what the
I
original question
honestly
was.
think that was I think that's the best question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
He's
because,
asking if it's tangible, kind of, right?
Like what is
What
it?
it is, yeah, like
What is it?
It is a decentralized internet. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And
Okay.
decentralized means you control it.
Yes.
No one else controls it. If you have a Bitcoin address, and I have a Bitcoin address, you can send me Bitcoin and no one can stop it.
No third party.
You don't need no bank.
No bank, no,
You don't, no one can stop it.
Yeah.
That's why it's important.
You know when you go to the bank and you
Right
try
out the gate.
yeah.
Right out the gate. You are your bank.
You are. You go to the bank and try to take a deposit out or try to withdraw some cash, and they start asking you, okay, what are you doing with this?
yeah.
Right? You're taking out a lot of money, blah blah blah. Where are you putting this? That doesn't exist in this space, right? Like you have
It's
control.
yours.
You can withdraw as you see fit.
But
it's
it's-
your money.
That's only on certain places. There's decentralized. That's where you want to be. Then there's centralized, like Binance, Coinbase, Robinhood, Crypto.com.
Yeah.
Crypto.com, some of them have decentralized wallets because they know. But if you go through decentralized, then you have that insurance. It's almost like an ETF. Like
Yeah.
if you go through your bank and buy it through the stock,
Yeah.
like that. It's the same when you have it on certain sites actually, because a lot of them sites go down. But when you check them on the chain, because that's on chain, there's a ledger. Anyone that has access to a screen computer, you can look at the coin's ledger from its first transaction to the next one right there waiting, and it's coming right now. You can look at every transaction.
And the security aspect of things, because it's
there's no names and nothing
right?
attached to it. It's
that's it, right?
Transaction.
Because it's self-possession. It's a lot more secure because it's mine. I give you my address. I'm sending that directly to you. So I was just in Newfoundland, right? I was just in Newfoundland and kind of had a bit of a situation with my bank account while I was in Newfoundland. So I used my bank card. And I got scammed. Like they had a reader thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Got $1,000 just lifted right out of my account. Realistically, in crypto, if you're using it the right way, it's real hard for something like that to happen because it's self-possession, and I'm sending it directly to. If I want to send something to rights, I'm sending it directly to rights. There's no middle person. There's no middleman. There's no processor kind of in there. I'm sending it from my address directly to his address, and the only addresses that we kind of need are public addresses. And so you kind of have like there's multiple addresses. You have like your personal address, your private address. That's mine. Like nobody will get that. That's normally kind of what you would be kept in the bank. So the bank would have that. I don't want the bank to have that. Like I want to be in possession of my funds, kind of myself. I want to be in control of my funds myself. Right. That's what I want because you avoid. you avoid all that stuff, right? You avoid all those scams. I mean, in order for you to scam me, I would literally have to give you my wrong address. The address I shouldn't be giving you, you would have to get that address. And we don't.
Cases with that too, right? Because you give a wrong address, it could be lost in that digital world forever, right? Like if you try to make a transaction and you don't have the right information, it could be a month before you find it.
You might not be able to.
You send it to the wrong address. You might not ever get that back.
If it goes to an address, if that person ain't sending it back, you ain't getting it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
But if it's in the quote, like if it didn't find anything.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Oh shit.
Tyrone, you taking notes, bro?
I'm not taking those, man. I got the questions up here, man. I got the questions.
you want to read them?
I don't know if I want to read them or not, because shit, y'all got me confused as fuck up here right now. Well, we got a whole list of questions here, right? Before I go into, I don't even know if you guys asked that. What are you supposed to read?
Well, hold on. What are you confused about right now, though? Because we don't want you to be confused.
So
Exactly.
let's just say, okay, let's say I took $100 off my account right now and put it into crypto. What's that equal to? $100 in crypto?
Whatever you put it into.
Okay.
Crypto is crypto. Crypto is everything but Bitcoin.
Okay.
And everything is stocks. They're all stocks.
All stocks.
Maybe 10% of them are real businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 5% of them are actual
Monsters type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like on real shit that you'll feel.
Okay.
And you won't even know that.
So like the stocks, then I would get an interest rate on that $100 to this.
It
like-
depends on that crypto.
Depend on that crypto, right? Okay.
Whatever
It depends,
goes up.
like,
But you can
exactly.
also stake that crypto too. Some of them stake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Cardano, you stake it any wallet, and it doesn't leave your wallet.
Okay.
Like a lot of them, you lock them up,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
but some of them, Cardano, you stake it, you push the button, stake,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still send or whatever you're holding. And
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It gives you that percentage. Like,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
fucking dope, bro.
And some of them, like, there's crazy percents. Like you
Yeah.
say, like, and if you're staking, some of the deep. Oh.
I need the mic.
No, some of them, there's like crazy percentages, like talking 30, 40%.
Yeah.
And depending on where you're going, like DeFi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that DeFi space, which is like still relatively new and not really, not many people like are exposed to that. But that DeFi space, like you can get returns of 300%. Like it's crazy.
That's
right?
what I
That's
need.
the evolution of this space.
Yeah. That's
But
what I need.
I know you guys got some
5%.
questions up there. What you got?
I'm trying to get to him, man. Okay. Phone keeps going dark. Okay. All right. So first question, we already asked like 20.
Yeah.
How can we improve crypto education to boost public what's it? Adoption, sorry. Contacts is dry. Sorry guys. In the next 4 years.
How do you include like or increase adoption over time? I think you need to like partner with like communities, partner with schools. I was doing a podcast for a while, and I've learned a lot about like our heritage and things like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
being African Nova Scotian, and one of the things I learned is that we've historically have not benefited from being able to create the generational wealth that we could have inherited,
Right.
had things been set up for us. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know we're talking about, like systemic racism, the land that was provided, the things that were promised. But, one of the things that for me is like, going through that and looking at that and constantly being, exposed to the history,
Right.
I learned that, our people are like constantly set in the present. Like we can't really focus on, too much in front of us because we got to deal with the present.
Yeah.
We got to deal with the challenges that are in front of us, right? Before we can start thinking about generational wealth,
Right.
right? So when you look at like this, is like I think this is a great opportunity to create generational wealth if we, talk to our communities and we show them the potential for this space, right? Because we are still early. Like when you look at cryptocurrencies, even though it's the buzzword right now, uh, still we're at a time where there's only 7% of the world, if that, like 7% of 8 billion people that are
Yeah.
really exposed to cryptocurrencies. And like in some of these coins, like there's only like 1% of the population that like are really in the know. So there's a great opportunity to, get out there and take advantage of like the growth in this new or this evolving space in like the crypto sphere, like Web3, which is like Corey said, it's like this is like decentralized internet. Like you actually have your own custody. So to actually take advantage of the growth, it's like we need to talk to schools. Schools need to be talking about this a little bit more, and I think it's coming. Right, I think as adoption comes, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt goes away, and everybody's going to start talking about it. Uh, other platforms online, like this is like easily accessible. All you have to do is just open up the computer and type in crypto, and you can find whatever you want,
Okay.
and you can understand like some of these projects and like what their true potential is and how they could change the world that we live in. So that's for me. I think we just got to educate. We just got to talk about it and talk about it in a safe uh you know manner, like talk about the benefits of this technology.
Okay. So basically, you're just saying like said educate. So you think schools should probably focus on it as well, right? But make sure they explain the uses and the risks that could be involved as well, right? So
So one of the biggest negative things right now with everything, there's always going to be narratives. There's always going to be narratives, and it comes down to who controls that narrative. And right now, for a long time, the narrative was being controlled by people who were flatly against crypto. They didn't understand it. They didn't want to learn it. They didn't, and so that's the narrative that most people have, right? You get that narrative from from the news and from everywhere else that again doesn't actually even understand it. What they do understand is that I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't understand it. I'm a little afraid right now. And that unfortunately is what was controlling that narrative is things like that. And so for us, that's what we're doing with our page, right? With the page, with everything. That's what we're doing. We're trying to kind of change that narrative. We're trying to actually bring the narrative into 2025 and actually create a factual narrative. It's not even about us controlling and owning the narrative. It's about let's just actually have a factual narrative. Let's talk facts. Let's talk reality here, as opposed to kind of fear, as opposed to kind of and on the other side of fear is there's other people that are going to tell you some crazy stuff about crypto, that it's going to do this, it's going to do that, it's going to and some of those things they all start kind of with a seed of reality. Unfortunately, it's kind of where does that seed of reality kind of go? And I mean, Laurice and I were kind of talking the other day, and what we kind of talked about is, do you remember? You remember when we were in high school and we were taking KCL class, and you get the homepage, and it's the first time that we're kind of being exposed to kind of computers. And then they come out and said, yo, we got this new thing. It's called the internet. Fuck that. I don't want nothing to do with that shit. Like that don't even sound right. Like that doesn't sound right. It sounds scary. I don't really want anything to do with this. Even though the capabilities of, where it could go, I mean, that was apparent at that time, but nobody really wanted to hear that right now because it was scary. It was scary. It was brand new. Ain't nobody kind of seen anything like this, like whatsoever. And so, I mean, if we think about like how crazy that things got with, say, like the internet in the early days, bro, we thought the world was going to end on freaking 1990, like on 2000. We thought Y2K, the world was going to end. Like, world's going to blow up. It's going to, like, all because of the internet, all because of ignorance. And so where we are right now with this space, there's a lot of ignorance. And it's
That's what they do every 10 years, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fear on us. Right now, it's climate change. Sorry to...
No. But so right now, the biggest thing is it's education and trying to and the biggest part of education is trying to kind of steer that narrative back to reality. Like that's the biggest thing right now. And you understand and realize that what I'm saying right now is not me saying we need to steer this narrative back to crypto. No, I'm saying reality. I'm saying like let's steer it to like what is actually factual as opposed to the bullshit.
But honestly, any conversation, I can bring it back to Bitcoin.
You absolutely can.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Bring something up. It's truth.
Any conversation.
Anything, bro.
Anything.
Anything.
I ain't even trying you right now. I ain't even trying you, bro.
Hey, so you mentioned your page, but you just mentioned the page. You want to tell us what the page is? What it's called?
Called
I don't know if that's a question already.
No, it's not.
Okay, cool.
Even if it is. Answer it twice.
You're messing up the flow, man. You know what I mean?
Intro to crypto.
Intro to crypto.
Number 2, crypto.
All right, cool. So y'all hear that? I'll put a link to it in the description.
Don't forget this time. How many times you say you don't put the link, you don't put the link?
I'll comment it in the. I'll put it in the comments.
Oh, cuz took a page from my book. Calling me right now. That's what I do.
I know you do. I'm getting you this sign.
That's my shit.
Oh, look, this nigga just said he's gonna put it right there on the screen. There ain't nothing there on the screen.
No. I said in the description.
Yeah, whatever.
I did say on the screen for some shit, but I'm going to put it in the description. And Corey's going to write it in the comments. So I'm going to add it twice. Unless I forget, then you got to watch.
Right?
He already on it. Look, that man is searching, boy.
I tried to see, bro.
Yo, I went in there too, but I gotta look at the questions. I went in there, but I gotta bring the questions up.
See, bro.
But they already answered all of them already. Man,
Your whole boy said don't get left behind, man. That hit me. I was like, yo, I don't try to get left
I got left behind with the questions. You know what I mean?
Bro, it's the future. I can't even lie. It's the future.
It is the future.
Something that
The future's
you
here
can
now.
you can hold. See, I can only say this about Bitcoin. There's maybe 4 other coins that I know they'll be around. I just don't know what they'll do, and I know they'll have a cap to them. There will be a cap where it's like, yeah, they'll reach that, then they'll move. You won't get rich off them.
Okay.
Bitcoin, you'll always get rich off it for the simple fact the mechanism, the halving it has in it.
Explain.
Okay, the halving is where Bitcoin itself has 21 million coins, and all of the coins aren't released yet. Every day, is it 450 right now? 450 Bitcoins every day get released into the system to the miners. You know what I mean? For solving the questions, like for me to send you Bitcoin. Like like the algorithm, not the algorithm. But
Shit, you got to get closer. You keep cutting in and out.
oh, sorry, but the miners do it. You know what I mean? Like the people that hold the power to see. I'm going too. I don't want to lose you, bro. I don't want to lose you, but it's
I heard some of this mining thing, like they have mine fields.
Okay. So every 4 years, that number gets cut in half. From 450, it'll go down to 225. So even if supply, or even if the demand stays the same, because the supply went down, it's the price has to react to it in a positive manner, regardless. I'm saying it got at least 50%. I'm thinking it will double because of human greed. We'll see it go to 50 and like, I gotta buy some. So that'll pump it another You know what I mean? And it's emotions to it, and it's a cycle, and that happens every 4 years. So that's what makes, and it's a lot of other things too, because Bitcoin doesn't have a company behind it, or it has a company, sorry, but there's no one that they don't control Bitcoin. Bitcoin does its thing. It's an entity. It's a I don't know, bro.
Is it AI?
It's everything.
Yeah.
No, it's not AI. It doesn't do anything like that. But it's a store of value. It could be a currency, but anyone that use it as a currency would be crazy.
More like digital gold.
It's digital gold. It's property because you hold it. No one can take it from you. You're like, it's property in the digital world. We go in the metaverse. You can go wherever you want to. You got internet. You can do a transaction. Trudeau shut the truckers down. Their bank accounts, people that sent them $10 just because they liked it, they froze their account.
Yeah.
And then the truckers got a Bitcoin address. Couldn't stop that though. They've been trying to stop Bitcoin, bro. Can't stop it. You can't stop it. It has the power of about 10 Earths. 10 of our Earth's power. It has about that much power in it. You can't stop it.
The one thing though that I did want to kind of just say, right, because we're kind of getting into like some good information, right? Everybody kind of in this room right now, right? Everybody in this room right now, we all come from certain places in life. You know, nobody in this room started with a silver spoon in their mouth. Everybody in this room.
Ooh, I did.
So did I. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was Tim. That was Tim, bro. That was Tim. That was aluminum. That was aluminum.
Was it Tim?
That was aluminum. That was aluminum.
I thought it was silver.
That was aluminum, bro.
Nickel.
But the reality is this: we all started in a certain place in life, right? Which basically kind of means if you just follow the natural order of things, without take away Bitcoin, take away crypto, take away all those things. There's a natural order of life. It just kind of is what it is, right? You are supposed to have certain access to certain things. Realistically, crypto, just in general, it changes that. It totally flips out on its head. Yeah. You are not supposed to be kind of able to operate in the same hemisphere as someone like, for example, like a Donald Trump, you know, as somebody that has billions of dollars.
Right.
They're equal to you, bro. They're equal to you in this market. Like you're buying the same coins at the same prices for, you know, with the same opportunity. That is not something that you really are going to see in life, just in general. Like,
and you don't see it in the stock market too. How long does it take one company to go public?
The only time that you would what I would compare right now, like crypto right now to, would basically be when you were setting up NASDAQ and the S&P and you're setting up the markets, the stock markets. They lacked regulation. They had they were different. They were different. They were actually kind of more like what crypto is kind of right now. And so if you kind of had the right insight, if you had the right thing, a lot of people were making some real generational wealth. That's where a lot of these people, that's how they became these people. Like that's how they became the JP Morgans. That's where they started, because there was pretty much an unregulated wild west kind of going on at that point, and they made their wealth there. And the unfortunate thing for everybody else though is that once they create that wealth, once they go from here to here, they're shutting that door, bro. Like they don't want you guys in here.
Yep.
No, you guys can't come. Like, no, you should have came when we came. Like, because you didn't come when we came, we're shutting that door. Like now we're setting those restrictions, because you're now life kind of kicks in. So, and there's not a lot of those types of opportunities and types of things like that in life, just in general. You're like going through life, you're not going to have a lot of opportunities to make real generational wealth, because it's going to have to be something in its infancy. It's going to have to be something that is kind of brand new. It's going to have to be something that a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know, man. Like that looks kind of risky, man. Like, well, it somewhat is risky, but you can mitigate those risks. And the reality of the situation is that you can make actual generational wealth. Like people are literally becoming millionaires, regular people, and becoming multimillionaires, becoming billionaires.
Not with big investments. I'm talking $10-15.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like real stuff. No, like real stuff. Real stuff.
It's not for the bro. It's not for the weak.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It's
No,
not
I understand.
100%.
because it's not any coin that does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to do research. You got to be in certain spaces, certain discords, certain Twitter's like you got to know who to follow. You got to know telegrams, all
Okay.
that shit, bro.
Okay.
If you want to up your chances.
Right.
Sometimes if you know charts and know apps and know how a lot of apps follow each other and what coin comes out on which app, you know it's coming out over here. And if they're a bigger company, then you buy when it's on this lower company because you know they're going to at least pump, like it's going to pump. And don't ever marry a coin neither. Don't be like, I'm going to hold this coin for 15 years. If it ain't Bitcoin, don't hold it. But straight up.
You know something
Because
that's
you can throw a
interesting?
coin in 5 years, you could throw it in 10, but you're not going to hold that coin forever. It's
Okay.
not going to be that coin.
The interesting thing
Because
is,
there's
like,
so
when you
many
listen
different coins that can come out of the woodwork. Like
Yep.
blockchain, it's easy. If you come out with something, it's open source. And what open source is, your code is for the public to go behind and see that there's no flaws, no nothing in it. But also, people can take it and copy it and make their own thing, call it something else,
Yeah.
and add to it.
Yeah.
yeah,
So kind of can take you, push you, be like,
So
yo,
true,
and then
so true.
since you built it this one way, it's hard for you to add as quick as them because they're adding as they build the one product. You already built the one product and you're adding to it. So you gotta do a lot of risk assessment and test net and do this transactions, this many. You got to put so many stress tests on this to see. It's too much time, and they're doing it. Boom! Yeah, we got this new one. Blah blah blah, and it's like you get left behind. Don't ever marry a coin. If you can get a 5x, cool. Open dip. If you can get a 10, smooth. If you can get a 50, yo, let's go. But at the same time, man, it's not as easy as people think.
no,
Like,
definitely not.
You gotta do your work. You gotta do your work. I ain't even want to front and say like, but I ain't lying. I can pick them. I swear I can pick them. But sometimes I don't jump in on every coin because you know what I mean. I'm like, man, because if it don't, but then I'm like, it blew. I'm like, fuck, I should have grabbed it. But then some of them, I throw $40 in a coin the night before I go to sleep, and then wake up and it's like 120. I'm like, nice, pull that right out. Pull the at least $80. Pull $80 right out. Boom, double up. Sometimes I'll fucking look for another coin right after that and throw 50 on it. You know what I mean? But most times I just hold it in Solana. Hold it.
So the transaction that easy? You just
Yeah.
money to
Yeah,
right away.
right away.
So what does the money go back into your bank account? Right.
Why do you need a bank account? Stop looking for this bank account. You don't need a bank account.
I just see where the money goes, man. I don't know where the money goes back to.
Okay, check this out. If you just stay, I'm just thinking if you just stay on the blockchain
Yeah.
in the next 5 years,
Yeah.
the whole world would be doing blockchain.
Yes,
You
Yeah,
could buy
yeah.
a host in blockchain. You
Yes.
do blockchain.
yes. Well, and that
we'll
comes
be
to
all
like the
there.
utility, right?
We'll be all
like-
there.
And everything he's talking about is technology, right? It's like that is we're in that time, we're in that space. Everything is technology.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the computers in our hands. We talked about the evolution of the computer.
We got more
Internet.
power in this than they had in NASA in 69.
Yeah.
69.
I think what Laton's question is how do you spend it?
How do you spend it?
Yeah.
Well, you can send it
like-
back to your bank account.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you can e-transfer your crypto.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then crypto.com, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
all these places, you can do that. It's nothing to do that. It's easy.
Okay.
But you can also go off on chain,
Yep.
but off their chain and go decentralized. And then you control your own thing.
Yeah.
When you open a decentralized wallet, you can download any
Okay,
of
that's
them.
it. Okay, so it goes to another wallet.
Yeah.
And that's your thing what you use to buy it. You're trying to use another
Your
app to-
wallet address is your bank.
Yes.
Okay.
You have a sending address. Well, you can send to anyone, I'm not bad, but you have a receiving address, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
And each
Per
token, each coin has its own like address. So we're not talking about just one, right? There's multiple, right? So everything that you invest in has its own unique identifiers for you,
Yeah.
right?
And so let me explain kind of like the process that I would use. So if I want to DCA or dollar cost average like into something. So I see something I want to buy basically.
Yeah.
And my money though isn't on chain. It's in my bank account.
Right.
So then I will then literally kind of ETF that money to my crypto account, say on Coinbase or something like that. So now it's in Coinbase. It's just cash though in Coinbase. Now I'm going to buy a coin. So say for example it's Ethereum. I'm going to buy Ethereum now. Now I have Ethereum because most coins that's like that universal currency is Ethereum because a lot of coins are actually kind of on Ethereum. So now I'm going to take that Ethereum that I kind of I moved the money from my bank account into Coinbase. Now it's in Coinbase. I bought Ethereum. Now with that Ethereum, now I can buy the coin. And so now I bought the coin. Now if I say that coin runs up 5x, and I decide, you know what, I want to jump out of that. I'm gonna take my 5x. I'm cool. I'm gonna take my money and run. Now I will sell that coin either back, like I'll swap that basically either back into Ethereum if I'm gonna go do something else, or I'm gonna swap that into or Solana or one of those, or I'm gonna basically swap that into like say what's called a stable coin. And a stable coin is basically just a coin that is kind of backed by US dollars. And so it's not speculative. It's not speculative. It doesn't go up and down. It literally just stays whatever price the US dollar is. That's basically the price of that stable coin. Is always going to be there. And so for me, I don't, unless I need to actually spend some money, like unless I need to actually buy money in this other world, then I will keep all of those, like I'll move all of those profits into a stable coin and just keep those stable coin in kind of what's called my cold storage or just another wallet, or like a much more secure wallet. I'll just keep them there. Like I'll just keep them there and just chill. That now is my bank account. If I need it kind of in kind of, real world type money. Yeah. If I need it in fiat, then it literally takes me like 15 minutes to transfer that into fiat. But the reality is that I don't really want that there. Like I want that there if I have to use it there. But other than that, that's my bank account. Those stable coins, that cold storage wallet, that is my bank account because that is where I feel most safe with my money. I feel much less safe having my money kind of sitting in Bank of Montreal because I just fucking lost $1,000 from my money sitting in Bank of Montreal. Ain't nobody come in my stable coins and took that shit. Like you can't get that. And so that is kind of like the process. It's very, very, very easy, very transferable. And those are kind of some of the things, like those are some of the reasons why some people will be like, oh man, that just looks way too complicated. I got to do this and then I got to do that. And then you kind of show them the steps. You sit down and you say, okay, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. Like 3-4 steps. And it's like, oh man, I didn't know it was going to be that easy. Like same with selling, sell it same way. You're just doing it backwards now. But it's a really, really, really easy process, a really stable, secure process. But again, it all comes down to that narrative, right? It all comes down to that education because we talking about that now. I just explained what sounds like a real complicated thing, right? Just explain that in like 20 seconds. It's not really all that complicated at all. There's a couple steps, but other than that, it's a pretty simple process, especially once you kind of get going. Once you do it a couple of times, it's like you don't even think about it. Like when I'm making swaps or I'm trading or I'm buying or whatever the case may be, I don't even really think about it now because it just is what it is. It's just a couple clicks, boom, 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 and then I have what I want, or boom, 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 and I'm out of that. But it's a rather simple process, and the biggest thing is that you are the one that is in self-custody of all of these things. Like that's all you. Like you make the decisions. Nobody else is going to make a decision for you. You make the decision. You kind of store that, and it's yours. It's the actual definition of it being kind of yours because I own it. It's me. It's in my possession. Can't nobody come take that shit from me. You want to come take that shit from me? You better bring the army because you're gonna need to get my cold storage, and I ain't giving that shit up. And so it's I feel much more secure just knowing that I have my money kind of in cold storage. And that's how I moved almost all of my money. I keep very little money now in my actual bank account because of that, like because of the type of shit that I just kind of went through. And because I feel much, much, much more secure just having it in my cold storage. I feel much more secure. I go to sleep at night knowing that nothing is happening to that shit. And so it's safer for me. And I'm not saying for everybody because, I said this to a banking dude and that dude tried to rip my head off and we got in a big ass argument over this shit. And a good friend, he was a good friend and shit, but like, he's a banker dude. Right? He's a banker dude. He worked for the bank for like 20 years or something like that. So we started talking about safety And man, he has some problems with that shit. But he couldn't refute what I was saying. Like he couldn't, there's nothing that you can dispute about what I'm saying. What I'm saying is absolute fucking truth. You just don't like it because it takes you guys out of the chain of command. And so this is what it is, right? I mean, feel how you want to feel about that shit, but I know I feel safe with my money in those places, much safer than I would just having that shit in BMO.
Okay. So you guys got like a card that you can take to like tap, like to buy a car, buy groceries with that? Like, is there an actual physical card to go do that with, or do you have to like?
There's all kinds of companies that
Is
have
it?
that
Okay.
card.
Okay.
Yeah,
Crypto.com.
I knew crypto had one, right? So okay.
I got a card over here.
But even with that though, I'm still a little iffy sometimes, even kind of with that, for the simple fact that that's still going through the same process. It's still a credit card, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's still.
I think it's an easiasier way to onboard people.
I agree.
If they don't use that card, then they won't get into crypto or not get into either or. But it's like, oh, okay, that I can do that.
I agree.
And you tell them, listen. Get a decentralized wallet. You know what I mean? Hold your own stuff.
I totally agree that, I mean, realistically, for somebody that's jumping into the market that kind of has some concerns of how am I going to spend my money and you know, how am I going to have access to my money? Yeah, there's absolutely there's a bunch of organizations that basically have credit card type things that you can basically literally just go to the store just like it's a normal credit card. But once you get proficient, once you start kind of feeling comfortable with just where you are, just with the space and the technology, I mean, realistically, I myself, where I'm at right now, I probably wouldn't use it for the simple fact that it takes me 10 minutes to like move the money from there into my actual bank account if I need to do that. Right. If I need to do that.
Yeah, no, understand.
But there's absolutely, accessibility is not a problem. And that is kind of one of those big misconceptions, right? It's that narrative shit, right? That you hear, oh man, you're going to get this money here and it's going to be locked in there and how you're going to get it out. And people, and you're hearing this shit though from people who have never ever owned fucking crypto in their whole fucking life.
I think that's where
it's like you never even owned this shit, bro. Like how the fuck you giving me advice on some shit that you ain't never did? Like it's like a basketball player trying to tell you how to play tennis. Like that's not real.
You still here?
Yeah. I'm taking it in. So with the ease, I say of transferring it. Now, I just want to compare this because the listeners out there, not everyone's in crypto, just to break it down so that it's easier for them to understand. Would you compare it to crypto be like you have your savings account, and you need some money in your checking, and you can transfer it over easy like that and then spend it from your checking? Is that how you would do it? If it's in storage, that would be, in this example, would be the saving. Then you could transfer it to your checking to go spend it to make it,
it's all in one.
Yeah, it's all
whatever's in your wallet. Okay, when he said cold storage, it just means you're taking it off chain. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean it for this example because, like, for instance, some places you go to pay rent, for instance, they won't accept crypto. Yeah. So I'm just saying, is the ease of transferring it from your cold storage?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I'm trying to explain it. I'm not sure if this would be your savings account.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then you transfer it on chain to an account. Because if you don't have cold storage, then you just have it's all that's your account, that's your savings, it's whatever.
Okay.
So you
can go right from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can send it. You can e-transfer. Well, yeah.
Think of it like that, right? Think of it like an e-transfer. Okay. It's basically like it's literally kind of like an e-transfer, right?
To your bank account.
And that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying, right? So basically, it's literally the exact same thing as you sending Tyrone money on like for e-transfer. Like you're sending it to yourself. You're sending it from your crypto into your fiat based wallet, like your bank.
You guys' relationship with his address, either one of you gets charged for it.
Yes, that's another key.
See,
or charge very little, like that. It's like it's not noticeable.
See, because that's why I want to bring up that kind of example because I know a lot of people's fears is, can I go buy smokes with my crypto? Like how can I spend it? A lot of people.
Well, if the store takes it, cool. You can.
Yeah,
but if
they
don't, you can just send e-transfer right back
that's
to
what
yourself.
I mean. See, that's the thing.
Or if they have a wallet, a crypto wallet, it's as simple as give me the receive code
Yep.
that Corey was talking
But in
about
today's
earlier.
age, where not everybody's on that level, a lot
Right.
of people want to know how can I make it into basically cash. If I go to Facebook Marketplace and buy something,
Yep.
I can't show up with crypto.
You
So
can, it
everything
depends on
starts.
who.
Well, yeah, yeah, I
every
know.
I take
depending on who.
crypto.
That's I take crypto.
Straight up.
I take crypto.
I take crypto.
Yeah. I take crypto.
But not
Straight up.
everybody does.
No,
Not
but
everyone does.
it's an evolution, right?
Yeah,
It's an evolution. I mean, 2 years ago you didn't see a lot of Bitcoin ATMs. Now I'm seeing them pop up at malls and stores all
Yes.
over the place.
I see them. I see them a lot
Right?
too. I see them
And
a
you're
lot
gonna
too.
it's gonna continue to happen. It's gonna increase the number of machines that you see as adoption happens. One of the things, like you were talking about your conversation with a banker, it's like I want to know how that conversation changes between now and summer when we have a clearer picture of what crypto
Right,
is,
right.
how it's going to interact in this space, and how banks can now custody it. So custody is like we're talking about off chain, on chain, but there's going to be a point where banks are going to be like, hey, let me hold your crypto. I'm going to give you this
100%.
because I know how it's going to make my business as a bank more efficient. So you're going to basically, it's going to be a perpetual savings account with high interest rates.
banks are going to start giving people 5% on their money. On their money. Banks are going to start doing. And I recommend, honestly, everyone just jump. You got to start. Okay.
Yes.
So jump in with either crypto.com or Coinbase or, you know what I mean? One of them other, any of them. Don't
So
even
walk me
worry.
through that. So to start, you go to crypto.com.
Yeah.
And then where do you go from there?
Sign up. You
That's
put
it.
You put in your
Email
name
address and all
that.
that.
Yep.
So you start an account.
Yep.
And then where do you go to do the mining and find this stuff?
You don't. It's like when you go to your bank account or investment account, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking up different funds, right? They have these DEXs, so decentralized exchanges, that have all the coins listed. Coinbase is one of them. Crypto.com is one of them. There's a few in Canada, like Index, which is a Calgary-based exchange that lists all the coins, and you basically register, do your two-factor authentication,
Yep.
show your ID, take a picture. They know it's you. It's secure that way.
Deal
Now
with
this
it
is
'cause
your
it's money.
wallet, right? This is your wallet. They have steps there that takes you like, I want to deposit funds. It gives you the e-transfer. You get the email address and the code that is your code. And so the funds that you transfer will transfer in Canadian to your account. And then you just trade.
Cool.
It's like that.
And so one thing to be kind of clear about, right, is you got two sides of things. You have kind of miners who are actually mining and trying to kind of like they have some really complex and expensive like computing ASICs type machines and whatnots that run computation. They run computations or whatever. And with those computations, they're basically kind of like what they get for that is they get Bitcoin for that. And so that is kind of like a miner. That's something that's kind of a little bit different. That's totally separate than say trading. And so what we're kind of talking about more right now is more kind of like the trading side. But the mining side is something different. It's kind of the other side of things. But
That's
if you're
like part 3 of this.
yeah. But if you're jumping in, you're probably not going to be jumping into mining per se, unless you got one of them apps like Corey got, like them Embers and shit.
I have one. No, I have one for some fucking mining thing. I don't know what the fuck I
The
was
thing
doing.
about
one
Ember
too, bro.
is,
I think I got
like
you
they're
on it.
giving us,
That was
they're
you.
giving you five
I forgot
satoshis
on here.
every hour.
Yeah.
5 satoshis an hour for having it.
That's not
Right
funny,
now, Satoshi is a piece of Bitcoin.
Yep.
100 million Satoshis is 1 Bitcoin. So that's like pennies on the dollar. That's what a Satoshi.
How much is this supposed?
a Satoshi?
Yeah.
Sat. Well, people call them Sats. You can check on Magic Eden. The app Magic Eden depends on a Sat. A Sat would be 1,000 Sats is $1.
Okay.
About $1. What is Bitcoin right now?
It was running when it was like up to about 106 or something like
Yeah,
that.
my,
Let me
my
check.
five, whatever the fuck that shit is.
It was around
That shit
106.
was high.
That's for
Yeah.
1 Bitcoin.
106.
No.
106,000.
Oh shit.
106,000.
Wait.
US.
That's US though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
US.
go Canadian. I'm gonna go Canadian.
150, 153, 154.
151.
Okay.
151. I was telling people buy Bitcoin since it was $30,000.
But that's the mining side of things, right? And so some people invest. So when I was actually going to be and look at kind of mining myself. The problem was that I was going to have to spend like $6,000 or something like that on an A6 machine, like that was just constantly going to run. It was just constantly running, like constantly running, and kind of electricity costs and other things that kind of come with that. So I chose not to get involved with mining myself, and more kind of on the trading side, but just kind of understand that they're different sides. They're not quite the same thing. So if you're trading, you don't necessarily have to be mining, and people that are mining, they may not necessarily even be trading. They may just be mining, and that like the reward that they get for kind of running those calculations is that they get a certain amount of Bitcoin. And so things like Ember, like honestly, at the end of the day, I'd be joking about shit, right? I'd be joking about shit. But at the end of the day, the reality of the situation is that the technology has even allowed us to basically even share that, right? Yeah. We even kind of have a way now where you can say, normally before it would basically be kind of me just as one dude that has all this expensive equipment, and that expensive equipment is, but I'm kind of like on my own, like I'm just me. Now they've kind of found a way to say, okay, we have a centralized entity, and we have all this we have all the mining information, or we have all the mining equipment, but we also have the capabilities to say, if you got a cell phone, then you can download this app. You can kind of share some of that computing power from your phone, and we're gonna give you some stats. We're gonna give you basically some Bitcoin for letting us kind of use some of that computation power of your actual phone. You ain't doing shit. Like you're not really doing shit. All you got to do is go in every day and press go, and you're literally kind of making Bitcoin. Like you're literally making Bitcoin.
I don't know who gave us that.
I gave it. I don't know.
You?
I don't remember who gave it to me.
We just talking. We remember something like
That's Pi.
Yeah.
Pi. Oh, that's
See, Pi.
what that
Pi,
is? That's a joke. That's a joke.
It's not a joke because Pi is actually coming on chain.
Yeah.
Like they're actually they're gonna do their thing. So it is good, but I think you need to switch over or KYC.
Yes,
KYC.
They just told me something was
KYC.
2 updates.
Yep.
May unblock your KYC application.
KYC is know your customer. So that means they just want your ID, you want a picture, all that stuff to know that you're real. Because it's dealing with money. It's like going to the bank. When you go to the bank, they want a picture of your ID. You're in person so they can see your face because it's dealing with money.
I stopped fucking with this app too. I left it on my phone.
Do you know how much those coins are worth?
The thing about Amber gives you Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Pi is Pi. That's
it
not
gives you the
Bitcoin.
Pi
That's
network
different.
token.
So that's a company in itself doing its thing. It's not Bitcoin.
Okay.
Bitcoin is the mecca. Bitcoin is your savings account.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
What other questions you got? We're like,
Man, I don't know. Y'all answer so many shit. We went around.
but, and I don't even know that we like answered a lot, but it's just there's so much to talk about in this space.
So
This was a good conversation, though, just in general.
Yeah.
Kind of open up that door and kind of try to get an understanding.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, this was a good conversation. Regardless if we kind of went through the questions. I know that we definitely tapped on some of them, but even if we didn't, the reality of the situation is that this is a good conversation to kind of just open that door and really kind of take away some of that fear, because unfortunately that's the big thing right now. And I'm even speaking for myself. For me, one of the big things why it took me so long, like I sat and I researched for like 3 months, bro. Like I literally sat for like 3 months researching because I was fucking scared. Like I was 100% scared. It was kind of, again, that narrative, that internet, that new shit. Yeah. And it's like, I don't really know. I mean, it looks like I think I know everything. Well, not everything, but I think I know what I need to know to kind of jump in, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And so
trial by fire, bro.
Absolutely, right? And so this is what we're kind of doing just in general. This is kind of what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to kind of we're trying to up that education from where we are, and kind of alleviate some of that fear to make people understand that this is real. Like, it's not some random people that are out there doing it. It's us. This is us. Like, we're out here doing this. Like, and we're invested in this, and we're invested in this heavily. Like, and we're not just invested in it as if like right now money wise. Like, I'm invested in this like like heart, mind, body, and soul. Like, I actually believe certain things
100%.
within this market, and it's not just about the money right now. Like, I believe in bigger shit than that.
This is
And
generational wealth.
absolutely
building,
right,
bro.
and I
This is for my
truly
kids. This is for my grandkids.
believe that shit. Like, I believe
Honestly,
that.
We
So
are
true.
at a
So true.
time at the, like it's amazing. Like, remember when Apple stock, poof, when oil first came out, poof, when gold came out, poof. Like, we are at a time right
Infancy
now
stage.
where it's like that.
Yep.
Like, it's
But once it starts, it's gonna catch like
it's
wildfire.
crazy, and I'm so happy. I'm
And-
blessed. I'm blessed to be alive during this time.
But
And
I
I'm
think
not
I think
getting
you're
left-
more blessed to have the open mind to go in and learn about the technology and see what the benefits are. Because like you were talking about like how it took you so long to get in, right? Because of the fear, because of the uncertainty. It's like you need to have an open mind, and you don't need to jump in whole body. You can put a toe in.
Yeah.
Talking about $10, $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Put
easy to
$50.
start. It's easy to
put your
start.
toe in.
If you got $100, $10 of it should be in Bitcoin. Now, however you do the rest, if you just keep it in your $90, cool, keep your $90, but you should have $10 at least in Bitcoin.
Yeah. And when it comes to
Please, that's my recommendation, and it's not financial advice.
No.
It's just from experience of holding the dollar. Holding the dollar, your value goes down over time. You're holding an ice cube. It's melting right in your fucking hand. Same thing. If I hold this,
the time
and then
value
the
of
next
money.
the next year, I try to buy the same thing.
Yep.
It costs more.
yeah,
Inflation.
So
dollar
I don't
today is
have the
worth
same
more
amount
than
of
a dollar
money.
tomorrow.
I have the number. I'm looking at the number.
Yeah.
But it ain't the same amount
No.
of money. Purchasing power done, bro.
Yeah.
So
It's the golden age, and I mean, once the U.S. and I know like we're going back to like the U.S., but the U.S. is the world leader when it comes to finance, right? Biggest economy in the world. Benchmark for every dollar is to the U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
When the U.S. says, "Okay, we're good, let's do this," everybody else is going to be on board. And the fact is that 90, maybe like a number of countries around the world are already have adopted this technology. They are just waiting for the U.S. to say go,
Yeah.
so that they know that this is going to take them to the next level. Like their countries are going to be transformed because they adopt before the U.S. Right? They started accumulating
Salvador.
before the U.S. Right? And where was I going? We're still in the infancy stage. There's a great opportunity. We all, in one way or another, spoke about generational wealth opportunities, right? And why, we sort of got into this space. And it's approaching it with an open mind, knowing that there's going to be some risks. But as we move forward, I think between now and 2030, like as we move forward, we're going to have more and more clarity. So the speculative nature and the risk associated with big losses, I think is going to be controlled a little bit better. And I think there's going to be clear definition on how we use it. Like today, you need to have that send code, that receive code in order to, send and receive the currencies. I think we're coming to a time pretty quick where it could be just your name. Put my name and it will go to any of the accounts that I have when we want to transfer the coins. Right? Like,
they already got it.
you know what I'm saying? Like we're here.
Cardano got it.
Yeah, we're here, right? Like it's we're not going to be dealing with these big, long alphanumeric numbers or sequences to identify an account. It's going to become easier.
It's called the ADA handle. You have your account, right?
Yep.
And then you just go buy the NFT. You know the NFT? You go to their site, create your name,
Yep.
whatever you want. You buy, boom, you buy it. and then it goes to your account, and then that's all you got to say to anybody if they want to send you Cardano, anything on the chain, SNEC, World Team Mobile. I said,
Go ahead, Phil. You got a question?
Oh no. I was just looking at the time.
Okay.
And saying that, like we said, that this is a good introduction.
Yeah.
Probably going to have another
Yes.
part 2. With all the information that there might be a part 3 going on up in there.
This is part 2.
I think
Part
we
1 was with Corey
can
by
we
himself.
be I think this should be like a recurrent thing,
He
you
was,
know?
Yeah.
I think
Corey
once a
was
month.
an introduction to the
Introduction?
introduction, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he touched on a lot because remember that episode wasn't just about that.
No.
So he just gave us like a sliver.
Yeah.
Now we're getting a slice of the pie, but there's still a whole pie.
but the easiest way just to start,
Yeah.
you go get CoinMarketCap.
Yep.
Download that app. CoinMarketCap, Coin Gecko, CoinStats, Glassnode. Their apps. Well, Glassnode is more advanced. Don't worry about that yet.
Okay.
CoinMarketCap. Just start there. CoinMarketCap. That app got all the coins on there, what number they are in the top, their market cap, what they're trading at. Go on their information, what day it came out. Got its website link, Twitter handle, got everything on there. It's got a link to places you can go buy the coin. Just go there, go look at coins. Go into the Discords, go get it. Go get a Twitter. If you do not have a Twitter, you are not in crypto.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, you need a Twitter. That's where it's all at. I could go right on there right now and go right into Spaces where
X.
X. Yeah, X. Sorry.
Formerly known as.
Like this one, you're talking about Trump, the coin. There's 2,500 people in it, 2,800 people in it. And you just click on it, boom, and then you join the space. And then these are like influencers that are talking, and you're just picking up alpha. Put your pen down, listen, get in this space, get in the Discords, start following people. Like you gotta understand it. Besides Bitcoin, any of them. Like I love Cardano. It's gonna be in there. Solana's gonna be in there. I don't love it, but ETH's gonna be in there. XRP's in there, and like a few of them. There's a few of them in there, but there's gonna be one for each niche. And you gotta know which one is the one, because it doesn't matter if the technology's better. It matters relationships. Once you show your true colors or burn a bridge or anything like that, it can easily just move right to the next company. And it can do it. And there's certain companies that are sitting at the table. Like I'll tell you, I'm giving you alpha right now. This is crazy alpha. I'm telling you. XRP, Cardano, Solana. See, they're listening. They know, bro.
The funny thing is, we're talking about this stuff, right?
And Sui.
Yep, Sui. That's another one.
SUI.
We're talking about this stuff, and we're talking about adoption. We're talking about education. We're talking about being open-minded. And I just see something like I went on Twitter. And he said Twitter. I was like, let me check the Twitterverse, right? Let me check X.
That's where everything.
That we see a note from the U.S. Federal Deposits Insurance Company, and like one of the points in this statement from the acting chairman says, adopt a more open-minded approach to innovation and technology adoption, including 1, a more transparent approach to fintech partnerships and to digital assets and tokenization, and 2, engagement to address technology costs for community banks. Like this is. Before 2 days ago, this stuff wasn't like talked about openly like this.
It was a scam. It's a scam.
Like this is how like the adoption works, and we talked about opportunities. Like this is the opportunity of a lifetime for anybody out there that's even curious. And it said just download Coin Market Cap.
Come holler at us.
Yeah, like join the group.
Come join the group.
Join intro
If you
intro to
don't wanna
crypto.
join the group, because some people they get shy and don't want to be. You know what I mean? If you just want to be on your own journey, but others is the best way to learn. because you want to go fast,
and you don't
go by
gotta
yourself.
and you don't gotta be in the group talking or anything like that. But
Yeah.
what I would suggest anybody that's watching this, if you're brand new right now, come to the group, scroll around through the group, see what
True.
like look at the
Yeah.
conversations. Realistically, that's going to then give you access to the admins. It's going to give you access to us, so that some people realistically. They're going to think their questions are stupid or whatever the case may be. Just right off the bat, ain't no question stupid.
None.
But some people are going to feel that way, right? And so they're not going to post a question, but you still have access to us. You can DM us a question. You can whatever you feel comfortable with.
Horrible.
Whatever you
It's a private message.
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not checking my DM. So
If you message
Yeah.
me, do not take it any kind of way.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. No, we'll get to it. We'll get to
Oh,
it.
yeah,
We'll
DM
get
the
to it.
group,
Yeah,
not
we'll get
us
to it.
personally.
Yeah, no, not us personally. DM the group because I don't even check my DM. My personal DMs, I don't even check them. So, but DM the group. DM the group. But come check the group. Check the vibe. Check the conversations. Check the just there's information there, right? Without
You don't
you
even
even.
got to ask us questions.
Well, that's
You
what I'm
gotta
saying,
ask other
right?
people
Yes.
too.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's
It's an
you
open
spit something out there.
Yeah, it's an open platform, and we're building a community around education and awareness of this technology, and that's all we're trying to do. Like, hopefully, from this conversation, somebody walks away and goes and downloads one of these apps, and just hopefully, we spark some curiosity that could lead to opportunity for you in one way or another. So, thank you for your time.
Yeah. In closing, I'll say right now we'll hear more on this. I'll have you guys back for sure, so we can have follow-ups. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope y'all learned a lot. I did. I'm gonna have to watch this episode a few times to absorb
my head
everything.
My head hurt right now.
I'll be
It was
watching it a
informative
few
as a
times.
motherfucker, bro.
All
Listen, I
right.
felt like I was back in school. My head hurt like a shower right now.
Oh, bro, it's so mean.
Class in session.
So, one or two times I paid attention to school. Got that headache from listening so much. Damn, bro. No, this is a formative
And
shit.
and the thing is that you look at technology. You look at the cell phone, 1990s
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it came on, had those big ass fucking Nokia things. Today, like it went down to remember like back in like the early 2000s when you had the cell phone that was this
small
fucking
one.
big,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Went from fucking pagers to cell phones,
Yeah.
right? Went from these big ass cell phones to now we get to the cell phones that it was your personal computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have these devices that are minors in your pocket, right? And think about like that was in our lifetime. We actually have lived in a very dynamic period of like human existence,
Crazy time, man.
right? Because
Crazy.
we've seen like our generation has seen so many changes.
Yeah.
We like you just said with phones. We've seen from rotary phones
Yes,
to like
A
computers
TV,
now.
a TV in your hand.
yes.
Yeah.
Because
Fact.
touch phones were like fantasy when we were
You-
kids. Like a touch screen.
Yes.
Like you could touch a screen and shit happens. That was wild to us, cuz. And now, like fucking on Star Trek, that's where they had touch screens.
Yes.
When they're touching the stuff. I'm like, that ain't real. But you can't touch a screen.
And I mean-
now everything's touch screen.
Yes.
Laptops are touch screen.
Yes.
Like
but it
everything.
goes to show you like
This is
how
touchscreen.
how rapidly things are changing.
Yes,
right?
technology is crazy.
With that being said, they're taken from.
It's true.
Blockchain, Bitcoin gives you that property value. That gives you
Yeah.
that, okay, even if whatever, your platform doesn't work, blah, 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 I still work. Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
Yeah, you're right. Like, because you said like they're taken from us because we discussed it last time.
Well,
where
cassette
now you-
tapes, my point.
And now
Cassette
songs,
tapes.
you
Yes.
don't
You rent them.
you don't even rent
Kids
them
nowadays
because you
will
can't
never
even control.
own music.
Right.
they
That,
don't.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'll never
Yeah.
own it physically. Never
Right.
own
Yeah.
it because if you don't subscribe, you don't keep paying for it. It's gone.
Only the
Even if you buy it, and
only
that app
collectors.
goes down, it's gone.
Only collectors
So
now
if
that
you-
go to record stores
Yeah.
to actually get stuff. You know what's funny? The records are more than CDs now, eh?
Yeah.
It's because it's more vintage and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I miss cassettes though.
But I guess like just with that, just to close it off, like join us in our group. We
Yeah.
also try to have weekly calls, like that's open to anybody to join. And I know, like, I'm super excited about what we did, and I think there's some areas that I want to like elaborate more on.
Oh, yeah.
Because like when this whole generational wealth thing and how it can like impact our communities, and I think like this is like a conversation that Corey and I have a lot, is about like how do we do something in this space that can really impact our community, right? And shift the way that we think about wealth and building generational wealth. So yeah, and the space is just so wide open. Like you could take your podcast and you can turn this into NFTs. Like you can create value from this in the blockchain space, right? It's just like we need to have the conversations. We need to build the infrastructure together and turn around and launch some things.
That's the next conversation.
Yeah. Sure.
Tokenization. Tokenization is the next conversation.
That was one of the questions, but y'all talk
No,
too much.
That's
I'm
right.
joking.
Yeah. We're not going to
I
start.
told you.
I hope we learned something.
Oh,
We
yeah.
definitely learned
I
something.
just hope that not even that we learned. I hope that we just sparked something
Interest.
in each of the listeners to just go take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sparked that interest,
It doesn't
right?
hurt to look,
So,
man. It doesn't hurt to look.
100%.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode. I'm John Kizzy. You know who is he? A.K.A. Philly G, because they know who I be. And I'm here with King Tigger,
the King of Kings.
DJ Laton,
I'm back.
special guests Corey Wrights,
Right.
my cousin CJ, and Laurice.
Wow.
That's on.
Laurice. There's already stand up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why we got it short. He got to go.
Yeah.
He packing up. Anyways, we out. Peace.
Deuces.
Need my charger, bro.
This man is fucking charging, man.